Welcome back to the Cover to Cover Girls Book Club. I am your host, Hallie Bell. This is the other host, Michelle. I never
Hi.
say that right.
It's okay. I think it adds some pizzazz because they know us by now. You would hope.
They know us. It's just like you think I'd be better. It's just you
You'd
think
think.
that I think that this is our 10th episode and I still feel so misplaced.
Wow. Well, even though you feel misplaced, happy 10th episode to us.
Isn't that great? And we're just
Wait,
as bad
what
as
is that in
ever.
the background? Oh, it's Greg. Did you say we're just as bad as ever? Also, I love a Greg cameo. It's my favorite thing in the world.
It wouldn't be the Cover to Cover Girls without a shirtless Greg cameo.
No, guys, if you're listening and not watching this on YouTube, he ducked down and crawled, and I thought it was one of Halle Bell's children because it was just like a little hand just trying to open the door. I've
My
never
gosh.
laughed so hard. Oh, he's back.
Nope, that was
Nope,
Blue.
just
And
the dog.
please pause. My husband left the door open to the
Ugh.
hallway where our children are sleeping. So,
Okay, please hold.
oh my gosh. If I did a get ready with me for this podcast, it would be
No, you're going to because I did mine and I'm going to post mine. So you better do yours for the next episode.
it just would be so. And here's the thing, it kind of
Oh,
ties with, oh, can you hear me?
oh yeah, I was just saying, oh,
Oh, if I tried to do a get ready for me reel for this, it would just cause such discomfort. And
it
that
would
brings me to this book.
it would wreak havoc.
Sometimes sometimes things can be too relatable
Hmm.
and they make people uncomfortable. And that's where our similarities lie
With the book?
with the book and if
Wow.
I were to do a get ready with me.
Well, it would definitely wreak havoc. Your get ready with me to podcast. That's all I'm saying. Mine is 2 steps: water, candle, sit down. And yours is like, "Ugh."
You don't even want to know what I did to get here.
Oh my goodness. Well, before we
Okay.
get into the book, for today's episode, we partnered with my personal favorite club sandwich over at Sarah's Kitchen in Palm Beach Gardens. They bring a high
Yes.
quality, fresh spin on classic dishes and really just turn them into a modern, wonderful masterpiece. So, if
Mm.
you guys are in Florida, stop by Sarah's Kitchen, cover to cover girls. If you're traveling to South Florida, put it on your travel itinerary. We love you guys. Big thanks to the owner, Theo, and all of the Sarah's Kitchen team for sponsoring this episode. Love you guys.
They are amazing over there. You should have seen. Just go to our Instagram and peep the spread
Oh my
that was
gosh.
given to Michelle. I mean,
Un
unreal.
Unreal. I'm gonna put some pictures on the YouTube video. Unreal, guys. If you're in Florida
So
or
good.
traveling to Florida, you have to stop. It's a little hole in the wall. It is the perfect brunch spot. I think I go there like every single Sunday and just eat like a massive plate of French toast by myself. But today's episode is called Sandwich. It's about a book called Sandwich, and Sarah's Kitchen has the best sandwiches. So thanks, guys.
And they are not correlated with this book that we're about to talk about.
The quality of sandwich at Sarah's
At
Kitchen
Sarah's Kitchen,
and the book,
they
vastly
don't.
different. Vastly different. Why don't
Yeah,
why don't you give us a little description of the book, Hallie Ball? Because I frankly don't know what it's about.
a lot of nothing.
It's like
I'm
a
sorry.
sandwich piled so high with nothing in it.
It's a big nothing burger. We were supposed to
If there's
we
one
were
thing we're
supposed
honest,
we were supposed to record this on Tuesday and I was just not I was so tired. I wanted to be in a more positive mind space. And so I was like, let's do it Thursday. And I gotta tell ya that sorry, there's a cat.
oh my God,
So
get the cat.
sorry.
Stop apologizing. We love a special guest. His name is Lookie. He's the cutest little orange cat in the entire world. I love these outtakes. Oh, here comes Looky. Looky, looky, looky. Here comes the kitty. Looky, kitty cat. That's a
Hear that
baby.
purr.
He said, meow,
Hear that purr. He's like, I'm here, Mom,
meow.
for the podcast.
He's getting so
Um,
big.
he's
I'm
getting
pissed.
so big.
He's huge.
Um, so anyways, where was I?
What? Where you are is what is this book about? Wait. Also, Catherine, who's the author of this book? Do we know?
Catherine Newman. I was checking out some
Yes.
of her other books. I couldn't tell because I listened to this book. I did Audible. And
Me
I
too.
couldn't tell if it was the Audible reader really aged this character. We need to make a montage of how many times I get up during this. But
Wait, I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be our real. See, I disagree because I really like the narrator. Sorry.
I like her, but I just think that she made the character just sound a little too older, like older than she should. I was like, she sounds 60 and this character is supposed to be like 50.
You think?
Yes, like I just felt it aged the character and I
Wow.
kept a match. If I feel like I just don't know. I felt like it aged the character a little bit with her voice and I'm
Okay.
sorry.
No, that's okay.
But this book is about a family that travels to Cape Cod every summer for a family vacation since the beginning of
The
time.
dawn of time.
According to the mom, very dramatically put, since her womb.
Ugh. This book is so dramatic. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
It's so dramatic. Anyways, she has two kids. They're grown up. She has parents that are aging, and she's sandwiched in between them. And that's not really the plot. The plot is they go to this. Oh my God.
He just wants to be a part.
They go to this place. That sounds terrible. It doesn't sound like a great rental, but they continue to return and every summer. And the kids are older now at which the point they probably shouldn't be taking 3 weeks off of work to go to this place every summer.
Was it 3 weeks?
I don't remember it, but it seems like a long time.
It seems like they were there for years.
Years. I don't think that they were. I think that was just how long the book dragged on.
Yeah.
Anyways, the mother has a dark secret about an abortion. Her other child's girlfriend, who the mom is treating like her BFF,
The queen of the castle. Maya.
is pregnant, and she confides in the mom before her boyfriend, her son, and the elderly parents have a hospital visit. And there's a cat named Chicken, which was my favorite part.
Yeah, no, I like that part a lot. I really like the voice that they did for the cat.
I did too. It was really relatable, but just cringe. I'm sorry. It's just like this book is your mom. Like if you have like just a middle-aged classic American mom,
Classic American mom.
this book will trigger you.
Yeah. It's like this book, it made me appreciate women like going through menopause because that's like the whole story is like her going through menopause.
Yes.
And so it made me like obviously really appreciate that. But then at the same time, I was like, God, no wonder my mom and I fought the entire time I was in high school. Like, no wonder.
I agree. And it definitely gives it gives a great insight into how women are treated at the doctor's office in childbirth, in decision making about childbirth, and menopause. But I just felt like the emotions, the drama behind the book really just, I don't know, not made them like it just drowned out the message.
I don't know what the message was. That's my whole thing is I have no clue what the message was.
I think she was trying to get at women in healthcare are just, when we go to the doctor and we say that we're pregnant or postpartum care, menopause care, it's just not accurate. I have experienced, prenatal care, postnatal care. It's not great. It's not great
Yeah.
for women. And I bet you 100 times, I bet you $1 million it's 100 times worse for women in menopause because it's just like everyone thinks that they're like this, described in the book as hormonal, wanting to kill someone
Serial killers.
at all times. I mean,
Seriously.
I definitely get it, but I I don't know.
Well, okay. Let's talk about like, did you like the writing? I guess the writing. We both listened to the book, but like, how did you? Was this your first book by her? Like thoughts on her as an author?
This was my first book by her, and I was looking at her other books, and I was reading some Goodreads reviews after finishing the book, and some people really like her writing. Like they like the descriptiveness. I will say when she took the abortion medication and she was swimming out into the ocean,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like I thought that was really beautiful
Yeah.
imagery. And you're just like she was just bleeding out, and I think that it's definitely very graphic at times and very specific, and I think that it's sometimes takes away from the point. What do you
Yeah.
think?
No, I agree completely. And I thought, sorry if you can hear that noise, it's Rosie. I didn't think that you would like it because she's like so aggressive. Like there are so it's so aggressive. She's so harsh in the way that like the characters like talk to each other and she's so descriptive and like it's not spicy by any means, but like they talk about sex so much because she's going through menopause, of course. And so I didn't think you would like it, but like I was in the shower before this and I was thinking back on this book because I pretty much listened to it like for an entire car ride. And I was thinking back and I was like, you know what? It was like a good like listen because it was so descriptive and it was like I was just like watching when you put a TV show in the back just as like background noise, that's what it felt like to me. But in a good way. You know what I mean? Like
That's
a comfort movie.
yes, and I think that's it's not a terrible book. Like, and I know that we kind of like clickbaity started off that way. It's not a terrible book,
No,
but it definitely is for someone. This book is for someone. It may not be for us
totally.
and our age demographic. I think, honestly, again, like what I said up front, it just hits too close to home with my mom. And I'm kind of in between. Like, I've had children, so I relate to that aspect of what she was talking about.
Yeah.
I've had two, so I really connected with that and like thinking about a third and how overwhelming that feels because
Yeah.
of how little your children are. So I was definitely connected with that message. Um, but where she lost me is that this character, and I feel like a lot of people just do not focus on gratefulness and gratitude for what they have.
Wait, this is my favorite quote from
Oh
the
my gosh.
entire book. Rocky is the main character, which what a fun name. And
Yes.
she says, like, we need to be grateful that we have the ability to complain. And I was like, God, that is some first world Americanism. That is
And that is
like,
at the
calm down.
beginning. That is the beginning of the book, and I do feel like the book takes a journey to the end. I forgot that that line was in the beginning because I do feel like Rocky in the middle and towards the end just kind of unravels. Like
Yeah.
she's kind of like a fun I really start off the book like I was like, "Oh, it's going to be a fun family vacation with the
No.
different dynamics." And it just wasn't a beach read.
I I was so stressed reading this book about their vacation. Like the
I
vacation was not relaxing for me at all.
The cover, if we can talk about the cover, was just very misleading. The title was very misleading. And I know that authors don't get rights over that sometimes, but I do feel like Cape Cod wasn't celebrated in this. I mean, I know here we go.
Here we
Island
go.
Hildebrand, Nantucket, but
There
she
she goes.
celebrates the island
Yeah.
and its surroundings, but really it was like the pond, the beach. And
Yeah.
like we got descriptions of that, but like and a little bit
Hardly.
of the town, but some people complained because they weren't real places on Cape Cod. Like they
Oh,
weren't
really?
named after real establishments.
Huh.
And that's where authors I feel like can do, a justice, getting tourism there, and like
Yeah, yeah.
shouting out an ice cream shop isn't the end of the world,
Yeah. Shout out Sarah's Kitchen if you've been there. You know what I
Shout
mean?
out Sarah's Kitchen for a real
Well,
sandwich.
it's it's like I read a book one time. I don't think we interviewed. Did we interview Bella together? I don't think we did. But
I know.
she wrote a book and it's about like Boca, and she said that she got on Google Maps and would just like do the street image to like
Yes.
see what the street looks like and like see what the businesses look like, and she named like local businesses, and I was like, this is the coolest thing in the entire world.
I love that. And I do think that this author has been to Cape Cod, but maybe has been so much that she has lost sight or
Yeah.
she's never been at all.
Yeah. It made me feel like I've never been to Cape Cod, but I've been to like, I know they're not the same. I've been to like Hilton Head. And the way she was describing it was like every place that's exactly like Hilton Head.
It
Also, keep talking.
sounded
I'm going to turn a
like
light on.
it sounded like Fort Lauderdale.
I agree completely. It was Fort Lauderdale.
It was Fort Lauderdale. It wasn't Cape Cod. They didn't mention a lighthouse or some of the unique culture. And that is Cape Cod and northern beaches, which I just love. I love like
She
northern
loves
islands and
Nantucket.
northern beaches. So that was a bit of a disappointment, but I did enjoy some of the humor.
Yeah, she was definitely funny. Like, there were a bunch of times I laughed out loud.
Yes, I really did enjoy the humor. I honestly, and to some people think that this book got a little too political, which I don't necessarily agree with. I think it's just a women's journey. And I don't think I definitely think her daughter's very political, but I think the mom is just a woman in this world doing the best she can. I literally had this conversation with my mom the other day. I said, sometimes, Mom, do you think that you're having an out of body experience based on how drastically different your childhood was compared to like what today is? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they grew up without computers or cell phones. Like my mom, like they literally have like a kitchen phone with a cable in it.
Yeah.
Like that, and that's what she grew up with. And now all of a sudden she's getting an iPad turned around on her
Yeah.
for just like shopping at Dillard's.
Yeah.
She got asked for a tip. And I was like, Mom, just like sometimes do you just and so that this
Yeah.
character just really reminded me of my mom and probably some of the struggles that that generation is going through. It really makes you realize that is what they're going through with this
Mm-hmm.
adjustment into this world.
Yeah. Into this world. No, seriously, they're like babies when it comes to the technology and like learning how to deal with everything. And but I think I agree. I think Rocky was just like trying to figure out how to best be in the like in the best friendship she could with her children.
I agree, but I also think that she is and what we see.
What?
Oh no, sorry.
This is going to be the hardest episode ever to edit. I'm just going to leave it, I think.
Please just that is like the woman behind the mic. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm leaving it. We're leaving it. Hallie Bell's having technical issues. The cat got involved. I needed to turn a light on.
The door
Sorry.
had to be closed.
The
The
door had to
cat
be
had to
closed.
be,
Rosie had to go
you know what I
outside.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll just jump off there because she talks a lot about the mental load that mothers take on. And it is
Ooh,
just,
yeah.
and how like dads just don't have that.
I loved the husband in this book.
I want to put a pin in that because I need to ask some questions about that.
Please.
But I will say that that was like really relatable. And it's like she did it so it's like it's not his fault. She loves him so much. And
Yeah.
she's like, you dad did absolutely nothing wrong. It's me and like my genetics and the mental load that mothers carry to take care of everyone. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess now there is stuff you can do about it. Like, I think that this world is getting better and better with supporting moms. Um, and like helping take off some of that mental load and dads taking on home responsibilities and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think she touched on that very beautifully and relatably. But I want to come back to you. I was talking to Michelle and she said,
What did I say?
she
Say
said,
it.
I don't know much about this book. I mean, it has a sexy dad.
He was described to me in the
This
book
is
that
your ideal man.
I listened to. This is my ideal man because like
Yes.
he is there just to be like, okay, Rocky, like
Driving
yeah,
people around,
I'll drive you
picking
around.
up
I'll
food.
let me go get the sandwiches and carry them and 3 umbrellas to the beach. And I don't know why she just described him, and maybe you didn't catch this, but I thought she described him as the most just like he like exuded sexual confidence. And like Rocky is all over him the entire book. And I was like,
Yes.
whoa, like I was literally picturing Hugh Jackman. I was like, this man.
It's Richard Gere.
What's his name? Is it Nick? That's what I keep calling him is Nick.
Yes, Nick. And
So
I think, no, I think he is. And he is your ideal man because
tell me.
he is aloof
He is so no, he's so aloof.
and he's, riding around on Rocky's train, just,
Yeah.
you
He's just
know,
he's happy to be there and
he's happy to be there. And, but he makes himself scarce when he needs to be scarce.
yeah, yeah.
And that is your ideal man. But what's so sad is that Rocky couldn't confide in him
I
about the
know.
child. It's like this man, you were blessed with the most understanding man on
The
earth.
most you're blessed with Hugh Jackman and you can't even talk to him.
It, come on.
If you guys like if your sexual relationship is that good, you would think you'd be able to talk. I don't know.
I think she takes a lot for granted.
Yeah,
And
no, she
she's
definitely does.
so, oh my gosh. The lines that she withholds for her children make me laugh out loud because they are things that slip from my mom's lip and that slip from my lip. That's where it's just like their child's just talking about like, something random and she's just looking at him. She goes, my baby.
And well, and then she goes, there were at least 3 times in the book where she goes, did I say that out loud? Oh, I guess I did.
It's just so funny. And like she's like, you made me so proud and I'm blooming with pride. Or like
And the kids are like, ew, mom, stop being weird.
and she's like, I'm just getting Cheerios from the pantry. But that is how you feel as a mother, like your cup runneth over. But I do think that, oh, and that was what I was going to say like a little bit while ago, was there is this generation, and I think it's us,
Oh,
that came from this type of parenting, maybe not the same, but like similar,
uh-huh.
where there's failure to launch. There's
Ooh,
not I have been listening to Carl Lintz's
here
podcast. I
she
know that's kind
goes.
of controversial, but it's really good. And if you're a parent, you should listen to it. But they were talking to a child psychologist about parents do not like to see their kids struggle. They don't like
Mm-hmm.
to see them go through hard times. And there's something, there's like a new wave of parenting that's like teaching your kids to struggle well. And I
Love
think that
that.
that is something that is definitely missed from this
Mm-hmm.
generation, like the eye rolls and the exasperated looks when I ask for extra ketchup, when I go out or something.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, everybody can see it. We can just be honest. Like this generation, our generation is filled with a bunch of weaklings,
Whoa, love
and
that.
that we cannot like tolerate pain because our parents shielded us from pain. They weren't honest with us, especially like early on in childhood. Um, like how they run up and they say, it's okay, before you even know it's okay, like
Yeah.
you yourself. And I think that this is a beautiful depiction of that, like this mother, and it just comes from your heart. It is so terrible to see your child cry. It is so terrible to see them struggle, but it will teach them how to navigate life.
Yeah. I agree completely. I'm so sorry. I'm just thinking right now of I was at Halle Bell's house a couple of weeks ago, and her oldest son was like playing with like a screwdriver, and I was like very concerned, and her husband was like, no, 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 let him figure it out. Like if he hits himself with it, he hits himself with it. And I was like, oh my God. And he
It's
knew exactly what to do with
so
it. He knew exactly what to do, and I was like so worried, and Greg was like, don't take it from him, he's fine.
I mean, I don't want to say that we're rogue parents,
No,
but
you're
we
not.
do let our children figure stuff out sometimes. Like, I made spanakopita for dinner tonight. That was on the
Ooh.
menu, and my baby cried the whole time.
Well, that's
And
okay.
I there was nothing I could do that would ease his discomfort. We tried a snack, we tried all the things, and at some point I just got to make dinner. And he's going to be okay. He's safe. He's in a safe environment. He has plenty to do. And he eventually stopped and moved on,
Yeah.
and he got another, toy, or his brother started playing with him. Like,
Yeah.
and those are like those just like very simple things that that we that are in this generation of parenting, that where you can see a mother or father just being very overbearing and not letting their child
Yeah.
experience discomfort in a safe environment,
For
of
sure.
course. But I do think you see that in this book, where it's just like, I do think that her daughter Willa is just a little, she's very smart, she's very capable, but like a little underdeveloped.
Yeah, because the mom is obsessed with her and is her little baby, and it's fine, but like let her make her own sandwich.
Yes. And I, again, on this podcast they talk about generational trauma, and it's like
Not
you think
this
it you
podcast, Hallie's other
other one,
podcast. This one too,
where
though.
where you think that, like, oh, like, I'll just put my kid in therapy and it'll fix them. Like, your kid's having issues and they'll just put them in therapy. Well, that's not good enough. It's the parents
Totally.
that have to do work. If there's something wrong with your child, there is like something coming out of you parenting wise that it needs to be addressed. And I
Yeah.
think that screams Rocky in this book. Like, she has holding back trauma, generational trauma, as she was, her grandparents were killed by Nazis,
Yeah, what a
and
crazy
she's
turn.
just finding that out. Her dad's held this secret, and then she has a secret of her own.
It's
And it's
really
like, you
crazy.
can't get mad at the dad because
No.
you were holding back secrets.
I totally forgot about that plot twist. And like my family is currently going through our ancestry because
Oh my gosh.
I have this crazy theory about who I actually am. And so hearing this part of the story was my favorite part. It was
It,
so good. But you're right, she couldn't be mad at the dad because she also didn't tell her husband that she had an abortion. So
and it
sorry.
was really mature of Willow, when I will say this was really mature, mentally, emotionally immature of Willow, when she goes, "It's not about you, Mom."
Yeah. No,
It's
I
like,
think
that was his parents. I know that it was your grandparents, but you barely met them.
calm down.
This is about his parents and his story, and it's like, don't
Yeah.
make it about you.
I will say, like, my favorite part about this was like the relationship that I wish I had with my parents, like the way that Willa and her mom are able to talk to each other and like the things that they say, even like Maya, the pregnant girlfriend who's like 23, the way she talks to her like future mother-in-law, that's crazy to me. Like me and my mom, I'm 26 and we just got to that point.
But I do think there is a line of
Oh, totally.
respect that is missing from this family. I
Yeah.
definitely agree. And I did grow up with a mom that was not my best friend. She
Yeah.
she didn't want to be my best friend. We wouldn't be best friends. I always told my mom this when we were in high school. if we were the same age, attending the same high school, my mom and I would not be best friends.
I
And it
think
was just so
me and my
true.
mom
And
would have.
she couldn't fight it. Like it's like, yeah, we would be in different circles. We would be making different choices.
Yeah.
But I like the friendship element of motherhood and I will implement it with my children, but there also is a line of respect and sometimes they're so hard on Rocky.
Yeah.
They're like, "Mom, you can't say daddy anymore." And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Well, if I birthed you and he's your daddy, then I'm gonna say
I can
daddy."
say whatever I want.
I can
Man,
say,
Nick is just such a great character. Okay, sorry, I'm done.
"No, no, no, go, go, go."
No, it was just a joke. My favorite part of the story, probably not my
Michelle's
favorite.
like, "He is a daddy."
He is a daddy. He's Hugh Jackman, people. No, but when they like, because Rocky has known Maya, the girlfriend, like confronted in Rocky and was like, I'm pregnant, which like we all knew because she was like throwing up every morning of their vacation. But she like confides in Rocky and is like, I'm pregnant and like no one else knows. And then like 3 weeks go by and then they finally tell the dad and he's like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
good for her.
Yeah, it's hysterical. Like he is so funny to me. I love that character. He's like,
And
oh,
the her
that's great.
forgetting to tell the
Yeah.
keep forget there's so much going on that she's forgetting to tell her husband that he's a grandparent.
Yeah.
And I just can relate to that so much.
Oh my God. See, well, that's my gripe. Sorry, this is my daily gripe. Halle Bell and
Oh
I
yeah.
used to have audio messages that were like our daily gripe. We haven't done that in a long time.
We
We've
should
been,
bring that back up.
we should. We've
Just in
been
case.
very grateful recently, but no, but my gripe with this book is like, I felt like it was so like reality TV coded where there just wasn't a plot at all. And there were so many parts where I feel like I could tune out for a few minutes. And then when I tuned back in, I was like, okay, like they're still at the beach, they're still doing whatever. And I just like it lost me so many times. I was like, what is going on here? Like I liked it. I liked listening to it, but I just wasn't like the story made no sense to me.
And then it was just kind of rushed, like, oh well, Maya and what's his name?
Jamie, I think.
Jamie are getting married.
And then they're
And it was
married.
just like, what? And like, and the grandparents at the beach scene, I
Ugh,
saw the heat stroke coming from a
a
mile away.
mile
It's like
away.
it took you till 11 to get out the door. It's 12 high noon on the beach, and you're bringing out,
You're bringing Nana.
and you're bringing Nana out on the beach. What do you expect?
And
And
she
like,
doesn't get in the water.
it's just so like, oh, it was so stressful. It was too relatable. Like, it's just too
The whole book
relatable.
is so relatable. It's so relatable. That's what I made a TikTok about this book and I was like, if you just need to like know what your mom is like probably thinking all the time,
Thinking,
read this book. Read and it was
actually,
right like just read it.
that's so beautiful, Michelle. And
Wow.
that is so true. That makes gives the whole book a different, like, I kept being like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
this is so much like my mom. But it is. It's like a mother's internal dialogue,
Wow.
but without like some healthy processing.
It's really funny, Halle Bell, that you say that. What I just said was very beautiful because on July 11th, you said, and I quote, Michelle has no sympathy for menopausal women. And I thought that was hysterical because I do have
Um,
sympathy for them. I think it's a beautiful story. I just did not have sympathy for this story because I couldn't follow it because her brain was all over the place.
okay, fair. And I said that before I had finished the book.
Yeah.
And Michelle just doesn't go down these rabbit holes. Am I fair to say?
Oh, for
Like,
sure.
for you, it starts and ends here. Like
It's so cut and dry. It's so dry.
it's not, it's cut in stone.
Yeah.
Like, here's the problem, solutions. Like, for you, it doesn't weave a web. And that's what I was just like, Michelle,
Has no sympathy. It's not.
it is
Yeah.
not,
No,
you're
that's
not
it.
hormonal enough to understand
I'm
this
really
book.
not. No, I am not a hormonal woman. Like, I don't. Yeah, I'm not. And I
You're
feel
not.
sympathy. I feel sympathy towards her, but I also am kind of with Nick still, where he's just like, okay,
You're
we're at the,
Nick.
he's like, we're at
But
the beach. Why are you complaining so much?
you feel sympathy, but you don't feel empathy. Like
Yes, exactly,
there are just
precisely.
very guys, I've only seen Michelle cry twice in my life.
And I
And
think
both
both of,
times I was really upset.
why did it thumbs up?
It's like we
We
know
know
she's only
Michelle
crying.
doesn't cry. No, and I think one, I don't think you've ever seen me cry in person. I think they were both like via audio message.
No, one was on video
Oh,
and
yeah.
one was in audio message, and I was like, I am
Hallie,
scared.
Hallie
The
Bell
world is
remembers them
ending.
both. Hallie remembers it so clearly because it's like such a monumental day for me when I shed a tear.
It's it's not that. It's
I'm
just
sorry,
like
it's not funny.
you don't, and it's such a beautiful thing because you don't let the world like Rocky, you don't let the world like penetrate your heart.
Wow,
But I
thank
think
you.
it'll be different when and if you have children, you will feel the world differently.
I
But
hope
this
so.
woman's letting it hit even like not around her kids,
Yeah. Yeah. No, she, yeah.
which I can
That's
relate.
all. Yeah, definitely. 100%. Yeah.
I'm a lot more like Rocky than I care to admit. Um,
No
like
comment.
I can I can definitely go there. But I
Yeah.
try not to, and I try not to for the sake of my kids. Like I was even telling my husband, I was like, you know what? There's a couple of things that I still need to process that happened in my past. Like just not big things, but just some small things that I really need to work through so that I can show up as a better parent and it doesn't leak out to my children.
I love
And
that.
I think that that is, I mean, that's the best thing you can do for a parent is to take care of yourself mentally and to realize how it's impacting your parenthood. And that's what's just so sad about, I know there are women out there that have this story
Mm-hmm.
and feel shame. How she said, I feel shame. And she's like, Mom, you can't feel shame. And she's like, don't shame my shame.
Yeah.
It's
Don't shame
like,
my shame.
it's so relatable, but you just got to address like you got to address it, but it is so hard to address it, and
Mm-hmm.
especially in this world, and especially back in our parents' world and our grandparents' world when the resources just weren't there to get
Yeah.
help or to help a struggling mother, or a woman that is faced with a decision about a baby. There just wasn't the guidance there.
Yeah. The the episode title is gonna be like um Parenthood with Halle Bell and Michelle. It's nothing about the book, just parenting. Parenting tips and
I
tricks.
think it all ties
No,
in.
it does.
I
It definitely does. I agree with
I'm
you.
more so like, and I feel like if you're a mother reading this book, you look at how other people mother
Yeah.
and you pick it apart and you empathize with some parts, you disagree with some parts, you agree with some parts. Like
Yeah.
it's just something that I think comes to the forefront for me. What was the topic that you connected with the most?
Oh, wow, what a crazy question. I don't,
Well,
well, I don't know. I didn't really I love how we're both sitting here like thinking of questions for the other one. I don't know if there was like a no, I do. I do know exactly what it was. And the topic is like not communicating, how
mm,
she held on to that secret for so long and Halle Bell knows it. She knows it firsthand. It takes years to pry information out of me. Like if I want to keep something to myself, it's staying. It's staying in my brain. And so I really and I've been working on that with my therapist is like how to appropriately like communicate and like communicate your feelings but also of course empathize with other people's feelings and this book really did like I said earlier it brought me a lot of joy in the sense that I got to see how maybe my mom was feeling when she went through menopause because
mm,
I remember her menopausal streak so perfectly like, and I was an awful, awful teenager. I was 17 when my mom went through menopause and we hated each other. And so this book really like gave light to that time period in my mom's life for me. But yeah, I think that was like the hardest part because like, Felipe can be very much like Nick, where he's just like aloof to some things. And I am very much Rocky, where I'm like, I'm gonna hold on to this. He doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know anything. I'm good. I'll keep this secret to myself and I'll figure it out later. And that's my problem. Now you all
No,
know.
and it's more of like like with Michelle, you have to ask the most
You
specific question. I could ask 20 questions and I'm like trying to get at the one where she'll tell me the truth.
you
And it's
literally
not
have
that
to
she
be
won't tell me the
so
truth.
specific.
She's answering all the questions truthfully, but I have to ask them very specifically in order to gain access to the full truth.
But the thing is, this is how I am in friendships, in relationships, at work. Like my boss will be like, "How's everything?" Like he's not at work right now. He's at work but not in the office.
Yes,
And he said, "How is everything?" And I said, "Oh, good." And he said, "How's the office?" And I said, "Yeah, it's good." And he was like,
running well.
"Is anything?" He said, "Is anything going on?" And I'm like, "No."
Not that I can
And
tell.
yeah,
No, you were like
so
the
specific.
you were because nothing is, Michelle. Like nothing is going. The scroller in your mind is like the high today is 77 degrees and we are
I'm such
partly
a
cloudy.
factual person.
It's like the banner of a news and it's just like
No,
the
literally.
headlines. It's
Yeah,
like
everything is good. Don't worry about
uh
it.
Halle Bell seriously hurt my feelings this morning, but we're moving on. Like
Halle Bell told me I didn't care about menopausal women, but it's fine because I don't. I'm
it's just
kidding.
like it's like there and then it scrolls past. Like
It's
I think that that's your mind.
like, no, it's there. It's there
It's
for
there.
five
No, no, no.
seconds.
It's not like you don't feel anything. It's just like it's 77 degrees and somebody was murdered. Like in the same breath.
Yeah. And that's okay. and then
That's
we never
okay.
and then we never think about it ever again. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, more specific book questions.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess that was a
What are
book
we talking
question.
about?
What do we, yeah, what book is this?
What are,
Who was your favorite character? Like, did you have one?
probably the grandpa.
I don't think he
He
had a
was just
single
so
line.
sweet. And if you're 80 years old and you're getting in the water at the beach,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
just my hero. Like, and
Yeah.
and she's like, thank God he's only in up to his waist. Like, I just cannot
That
get
was really
saved.
sweet.
And then she was like, he's drowning. And she's like, we just saw a shark.
Was that your favorite scene?
That was probably my favorite. Just the grandparents at the beach. I mean, I just never related to anything like the mom freaking. I related with the kids the most probably in that scene because
Yeah.
it's just like the parents and the grandparents like just going rogue on the beach because you know.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, that was probably and he's my favorite character because he was just like it is what it is. I
Yeah.
admire that type of character. I thought he was funny, and when she was like. We can't serve lobster. It's too hard for the grandparents.
hmm
I related to that.
Man, that was cute. That was really cute. You know what I really liked was the scene where Rocky, this is so unserious, where
Oh my god.
Rocky is like making the sandwiches and everyone is so particular about their order. I thought that was
Been
hysterical.
there.
She's like one sandwich with this, one sandwich with no mayo, extra mustard, one sandwich everything but pickles, one sandwich with everything but not on that bread, everything on this one with a wrap, and it was hysterical to me. I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm working in the industry.
And that's the type of thing where just not letting your kid like we're having this type of sandwich because this is what I can make and I don't want to hear
And deal
it.
with it. And I'm the one making it. But she was doing that with her parents too. Like the grandpa, your favorite character, was the one that was like,
The
what's on that?
condiments.
The condiments. He was like, seriously? We don't have any condiments?
It's
And
just like I just connect with it too much and I am Rocky and I need to stop. I'm not Rocky at dinner, but I'm Rocky for breakfast and
yeah,
for lunch. Like
totally.
my kid, like I let them pick out what they want for pretty much for breakfast and then really free range for lunch and then dinner is dinner and there's no substitution.
No, no, you get what you get and you don't pitch a fit.
Yeah, as I have like this rule where I'm like, don't open the fridge. There's nothing else in there for you. Everything that you have is on your plate.
I love that.
And my kids eat their dinner.
And they're the most like, or they're the least picky kids ever.
They really do. They eat anything, and it's just like those type. And like Wally tonight didn't love his spanakopita, and he had strawberries as another side, and he ate a couple. Like after a while, he ate a couple more bites, till he was full. But it's just like,
Because he
and we
knew
give
that's what
him
he's
milk
getting.
before bread. Like we don't let him go hungry, but it is just kind of like this is the opportunity to eat. This is what's being served.
So
Get
eat.
over it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this is the meanest mom on earth.
No, not at
No,
all.
I just think it's really important, just like mini struggles like that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this isn't my favorite dinner, but
It all comes full circle. Many struggles.
mini
What was your
struggles.
what was your favorite quote? Did you have one? Or did you already tell me?
Um, I don't know. They were kind of like how we laughed about that other line. It was just kind of like, haha.
There were so many ha-has. Like I only wrote 3 things down, and one of the 3 was when Rocky says, I don't know if she said, I think she says it out loud. She says, "Why should I have to be pretty and nice?"
Yes.
And I was just like, this woman, like,
And like, I can so relate when your husband does something sweet and you're like, I'm just gonna be the best wife ever. I'm gonna look beautiful and like, I'm never gonna do anything wrong. And it's like, you know what? No, I'm not.
no, I'm not. 5 seconds later, mood has completely changed. But like, I will say, this author was very witty. Like, I did laugh out loud.
She's very witty. I mean, I guess my main criticism is that this book was just a little close to reality.
Way
Like you said,
close.
kind of like a reality show where the Kardashians, where there's plot going on, and it's sort of interesting, but it's not really building to something spectacular.
That was the thing. There was no climax for me in this book. Was there? What
And
am
I
I
guess
missing?
that's what makes it a beach read, but I, I don't know. Like for me, a beach read does have to like captivate me in some way. And there were like heavy topics, but she did address them in sort of a
Yeah.
light way. So I don't know. I just don't think that the covers fully
It's
encaptured
yeah.
what was going on in the book.
No, it was very deceptive. What's the word I'm thinking of? Very
I don't know.
misleading. It was very
Misleading.
misleading.
Like, like the towels and goggles, and like she did have like those lines of like bodies, bodies on me, sandy bodies, warm torsos, wet bathing suits, like all of these like sensory overload things that
Yeah.
like I really connect with. Like going to the beach with your kids is
Wait,
really hard.
that is my favorite thing you've said this whole episode. This book is sensory overload.
Overload.
A
And
100%.
it's just like a lot in this world when we are so like sensed out that I think,
Yeah.
especially for me, I was throwing a 1-year-old birthday party in the middle of all of this, and I was just like feeling a little overwhelmed
Yeah. It was a
and
lot.
a little bit like, okay, just like suck it up, like we just gotta get through this.
Yeah, seriously. So we haven't even said it, but what
Oh,
did you rate this book?
I looked on Goodreads because I'm like,
No.
I always try to like, and I like looked to see what you had wrote, and it just said Michelle read. And I was like, she
Did
didn't put
I
any stars. And I was like, oh God,
I didn't rate it at all?
you didn't rate it at
I
all. And I was,
probably did that on purpose because I know how you are. I read the last page of every book and you read Goodreads reviews before giving your own review.
yes, I do. And because I just don't want to miss something. Like, I sometimes, like
I
how
hear
you
that.
pointed it
I
out,
hear
like
that.
if you want to know your mom's internal monologue, like that was so beautiful. That was
Oh,
so beautiful and definitely changed my mind about the book. So sometimes
yeah.
I'll read a review and it'll really just like help me grasp the book better and then I can form my opinion. If I didn't grasp the book, I feel like I can't review it.
I
Do
hear
you know what I
you.
mean?
No, I
Because I was like a
completely.
little lost at the end of the book. I was just kind of like, okay, so where do we go from here? What is this? What is this?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. No, I agree. I'm just reading a review right now. Can I read it out loud?
Oh, please.
I disagree completely, but this is wonderful to see.
Mm.
Brady wrote, loved this one, crying happy face. In quotes, this is a book about love and change and loss, all packed into an annual family
Oh,
week
I
on
saw this
Cape
one.
Cod, and it's a total delight. I don't know if this one will be for everyone. The writing is different than anything I've read before, but I adored it. And I think that is a perfectly good review.
I love that
Love it.
because I do think that if you miss your mom or you miss your kind of your childhood, if you're going through menopause, like there is groups, but I did see a woman, she was like, I am the target audience for this book. I'm 55, I'm going through menopause, and
Oh my
this
God.
book is too whiny for me. And I was like, okay, like that's what she thinks. Like this book
Wow.
is really individualized. I mean, I'm
It's
really
so,
gathering that right now.
yeah. So the average rating on Goodreads, what do you think it is?
Like a 3.8?
It's a 3.88.
Wow.
Okay, so what do you give it?
That sounds good.
I would give this book a solid, comfortable, happy 3.
I mean, that's where I fall. But
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
rate
I
it
give
right
it the
now.
0.8 based off of like the things that we've talked about and some of the different perspectives. Like this book is really, maybe I'll pick this book up. Maybe this is one of those books like you'll pick up later and you'll be like, wow, 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 wow. You know?
I was just thinking the exact same thing. Like, I think, God willing, I have a child someday. I think in like 10 years, I'm gonna reread this book and I'm gonna change my mind completely.
Let's make a sandwich pact.
Okay, here it is. Let's reread this book, July of 2034. I'm putting it in our calendars.
It's like making me want to cry a little.
And then, no, you know what's going to be so funny is when I put it in our calendars and it pops up on the same phone because Hallie's going to have that exact same phone in 10 years.
Yes.
And we're going to be like, sandwich? Are we getting lunch?
Michelle, did we read a book called Sandwich? Just can't remember.
No, but there's going to be no mention of a book. It's just going to say sandwich with Hallie Bell. And I'm going to be like, lunch?
And we're gonna be like, is it something to do with that podcast we were doing when everybody was doing those podcasts? Remember when
When,
everyone was doing those podcasts?
look, here I am. Oh, I'm in 2032. 2034. I don't know if you can see it.
I can
I'm
see it.
I'm adding the first week of July, which is no, that's your favorite week. Let's do it like the second
Oh
week.
yeah, let's not do it on my favorite week.
Okay, I'm putting
But what if
sandwich.
there's like nothing going on that week in 10 years? Then I'm
Oh,
gonna be like,
no, there will be. There will be because you'll be prepping for like something really big, I'm sure. A big
well,
4th
let's
of
see, well,
July
I will be
party.
12 going on 13.
Ah,
Man, maybe I'll have like, well, maybe we'll be at the beach and I'll have free time to read this book.
Hallie Bell, July of 2034, you and I are going to go to Cape Cod and we're going to read this book. Let's take
Man,
let's take
watch
our
out, Cape
families.
Cod. Alert
Let's
the local police.
Here we come. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. My favorite part of this book, one of my favorite scenes, was how they wait on a shuttle to go to the beach, and the grandpa and the grandma are like complaining so much. And I think one of the kids was like, it's been 2.5 minutes. You're okay. Like,
You're okay.
but the fact that they had to take a shuttle, like, if I'm going to the beach, I want to be near, I want to walk.
No,
Yeah.
if I'm having to take a shuttle to the beach,
Might as well stay home.
might as well just stay home. I am that dramatic.
No, literally. Uh,
And also, if I'm at the beach, I won't be at the pond.
no, why did they spend so much time at this pond? No,
This
really,
pond is so bad.
that's a
This
genuine
pond,
question.
every time I'm like the mosquitoes or like the snakes, the frogs, the turtles. I love all those things. And I'm a lake girl. I grew up on the lake. Literally, my backyard was the lake. And the pond sketched me out.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. Because I'm a muddy water, feet in the mud type of girly. But this pond, I was like, this pond sounds gross.
And but why did they care so much about it?
I don't know. Just sometimes people latch on to things. And that, I mean, they really are a family unit. She does
Oh yeah.
describe a family unit. And sometimes people just latch on to things that you just don't understand. Greg and I
Yeah,
run into this all the time where we're just like, people live different. My mom always said, people spend money on different things. And it's just a reflection of like, people just do different things. Like
yeah.
people's like enjoyment is just totally different than your
No,
enjoyment. It
for
like it's
for sure.
amazing when you do have overlap
Yeah.
of
It was just
enjoyments.
it was crazy to me because it's like it's the last day of their family beach trip,
And they're at the
and
pond.
the daughter, they're like, "What should we do?" And the daughter Willa is like, "We're going to the pond." And I was like, "You're not gonna go to the beach?
You're gonna go get eaten by an alligator?
You're gonna go to the pond on your It was so odd to me. But
Yeah.
oh well, families.
Families, what can you do?
What can you do? You'll never understand them. You'll never get them. Oh well.
You'll never get them. And that's really the premise of this book. Like the cat taught, like it was just so niche, their family. And maybe that's why sometimes you feel like an outsider when reading this book is like, you're just not a part of this family, but you can
Yeah,
relate because there are like things that remind you of your family,
for sure.
maybe.
No, I completely, yeah, totally agree. I think that's
So
beautiful.
she doesn't welcome you into the family like as a family member, making you feel that comfortable. I saw a review that said that was like, you're welcomed in right on. I'm like, firmly on the outside.
Yeah. No, I felt uncomfortable in some of the family scenes. I was the boyfriend, or like, that like shouldn't be allowed at
Poor
family dinner.
Maya.
Yeah, poor
Yeah.
Maya. But Maya was so comfortable with Rocky. I don't know.
Yeah, but like sleeping on the floor in an open concept like rental, it's like, could they not have splurged for like, I mean, maybe go every other summer and get like something that fits your family. But
I
that's just
agree
me.
completely. No, I agree completely. But it's also like families like this have always been my biggest, what's the word, like my biggest ick, because I absolutely despise families who go to the exact same place every single year and don't ever venture out. Because my parents, like, we had the beach that we would go to, we always went to like Gulf Shores or like Orange Beach or whatever, but we always paired it with like a cruise to some foreign place. And
Yeah,
then
we never visited the same place. We never
no,
had a summer retreat.
you never go to the same place
And
twice
I think
except for
that's
summer
really
camp.
uncommon, Michelle. I think we are very different in that. And I
No,
think that's why we connect because
yes,
Greg's all the time like, let's go back here. And I'm like,
no.
really? But there is something beautiful about returning to a place and like being familiar
Yeah,
with it. But for me, I just get bored
I do too.
with the same place and I like new adventure. With kids, it's a little different because you do kind of want to go like and know where 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 we can eat with the kids, where we
Where to
can't.
set up
Like it's
camp,
kind
yeah.
of fun to figure those things out and then get to do them again. But as a single, like as a me and Greg are gonna do something, we're gonna go
Oh yeah,
somewhere we've never been before.
for sure. No, for sure. It always bothered me. Like most of my summers growing up, I always went to the beach with one of my friends and her family. We went to Hilton. I went to Hilton Head like quite a few summers with her family. And it was like the first night of the vacation, we always ate at this restaurant. And the second night, we did this after ice cream. And it was like the same thing every single year. And at one point, I was like, does this feel like a vacation to you guys? Because it's
No,
like,
some
where it's
people really
scripted.
enjoy the
They do.
rituals, like the rituals of that vacation.
Yeah.
But for me and my family, my parents always framed it as you're not absorbing the world. You're
Yep.
not, the reason to travel and to vacation is to experience
Mm-hmm.
something outside of your comfort zone. That was like a huge thing of like my parents
Yeah.
preached to us growing up. And traveling isn't supposed to be comfortable necessarily. It's supposed
Ooh.
to be like adventurous, thrilling,
I love that.
exploratory and relaxing. Like it's supposed to be all the things. And I feel like Americans just like they don't want change. They don't want like to get
Yeah.
outside of those comfort zones. And I think it's a detriment to your children because they become really small-minded when you don't
Yeah.
travel and you don't experience new things and you return. You're doing a detriment to your family just returning to the same place and not going someplace different and showing them someplace different. Like beaches are different. They're not the same beach everywhere.
Oh,
Like
for
the
sure.
beaches up in the north, like in Cape Cod, they're so different than the Florida beaches, and
Totally.
it's fun to compare and see what you like better.
Yeah. I completely agree with you.
I always thought about returning to the same places after I've been to a lot of places, knowing what I like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I agree completely. But I'm also a Disney World girl that goes to the same stupid Disney parks every other weekend, so but
And that's the
I don't
sad
vacation.
underbelly.
And that's yeah. That's my truth.
It's not. It's not. It's just because you live in Florida now. Like maybe you won't live in Florida your whole life and you're just taking advantage of this season.
Can I just say, Halle Bell plants that seed every opportunity she gets. She's like, well, you're not going to live there forever, so you might as well appreciate Disney World
You might as well just put your house on the market and just see.
and just see what happens and just come visit.
I'm
Halle Bell
so
tries to,
toxic. I'm
no,
like, I found a Zillow listing on my street. I don't know. I just
just saying. And
just say,
Hallie's like, just quit your job, get a remote job, and come live with me.
what's
And I'm
so
like,
hard?
what's so hard about that? No, Halle Bell, I'm telling you, if I ever get a remote job, my first month of work is going to be at your house.
Please, because nobody would fit in better in my family's day-to-day routine than Michelle.
It's so true. I
She would
loved,
see the fighting and the arguing and the mess, and she would just be like, okay,
that's it.
I'm going to my room.
On to the next day. I'll see you guys for breakfast.
She's like, Greg and I are putting the kids to bed, and she's like, I'm going out tonight.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.
See you tomorrow. Good
I
luck with that.
I absolutely sobbed the other day when I left your house and Wally was like, "Is Michelle coming back?
Where is she?
Why did she leave?"
He's always wondering.
He's like, "Why
I
would
sent Michelle a
someone come
video of
and then
my
go?"
child literally just put him to bed. I'm like checking in on him to see if he's winding down. Like I'm like, oh, I'm sure he's Greg said, oh, he was really sleepy. I turned the video on. He's putting on these sunglasses
Oh, I thought they
and
were
he
goggles.
starts dancing. And I'm like, he's
It's
like, the party's starting.
No, it's literally the funniest clip in the world. I'm so sorry. If I can pull it up.
Please play it. It's so funny.
I don't know if anyone will ever be able to see this. Oh, you can zoom in. Watch him put his glasses on.
Oh, I can see it really good. They're like strap glasses.
And then
Wait, and the dancing. Here he goes.
no, but my favorite part is as soon as he puts the glasses on, he looks in the direction of the camera. He's like, "Are they watching me?" He's like, "Might as well put on a show."
He's always like, he thinks that this camera, like can talk to him through the camera,
Yeah.
but we only use it to like call him to us because he's like kind of scared to venture out of his room or his bed on his own. So like we'll call him and we'll be like, Wally, good morning, come on in, like come
Adorable.
to mommy and daddy's room. And it's like this omnipotent voice that's him and he'll look
He's
at the
like-
camera and he'll be like, you there, mommy?
He's like, "You watching Big Brother?"
Okay, you watching this?
Again, parenting tips and tricks with Halle Bell and Michelle.
Yeah, you're welcome. Everyone's like, I'm not gonna take advice from that. They sound like they're
like-
struggling.
They're like, "That girl
No,
doesn't
like,
have kids,"
but what was
and
so
that
funny,
one,
2 minutes later, he's like out stone cold.
Of
with our
course.
son.
of course, duh.
It's like the last bit of partying before
He's so funny. Oh my
when it's like
God.
your friend shows at the club like early on in the night and they're like, let's go, and then they turn around and they're just gone.
Wait, you should absolutely make a TikTok of this video
That's that. Oh, of Wally.
of Wally. Yeah. with some crazy
Or
caption.
or it's like the meme when people are like, when you think your friend is like out for the night and then they come back.
Yeah, they rally. Uh,
Wally's like gonna be the ultimate rallier.
yeah, yeah, he's always
He
ready to
loves
go.
to rally a party together. Okay, anyways, I'm side.
No,
Mouse
I'm
and
here
Wally
for
is
that.
the best thing in the world.
He is the best thing in the world. He really is. And Teddy is just like,
And Daddy.
he's like, well, I can't compete with that right now, so I'll just let him have his moment.
He's like just like the ultimate sidekick. Like whatever Wally's doing, he's
Yeah.
like, let's do it, man.
He's like,
Let's do it.
I'm here. I'm here whatever you need.
Well, Greg has this vision of Wally being like kind of like the cheeky jokester and like maybe like crossing the line and like Teddy's kind of like his muscle, like standing
Behind him.
and Wally's like, whatever, bro. And Teddy's like, don't mess.
Don't mess with my brother. It's so true.
So, anyways.
Anyways, well, who picked this book? You? No, it was a good pick. And it's funny because
The tone is
Hallie,
not necessary.
we said, we were like, well, this is going to be a 10-minute episode because we don't have much to say. But we had a lot to say. This was a really great book for discussion.
I'm really surprised. And yeah, I'm like shocked. Maybe I would recommend it to be a book club book for like a book club.
No, I think I would. Especially, yeah, I 100% would. There's a book club here that's like just Boca moms, and I feel like I can't be a
Oh.
part of it, but I would love for them to read this book.
Well, and even not moms, like how we said this book is so individualized
Mm.
that I think that it somebody could relate to any kind of part of it. I feel
Yeah,
like even like sons could relate, you know, guys. I don't know.
yeah, that's what I said in my little TikTok. I was like, everyone should read this book because there is some part of it for everyone.
100% agree. And
Even if it's not good, you're going to enjoy some part of it. But it
yes,
is good. It is good.
it is good. It's a good book.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I picked it.
No, don't say sorry at
I'm
all.
just kidding.
Don't say sorry at
Um,
all.
she's like, don't say sorry at all. I'm gonna pick the next book.
No, you picked or did I pick the next book? The next book we're reading is Emily Giffen's The Summer Pact.
I'm so excited.
Did you pick that? I guess you
So
did.
excited. I'm ready to shake off this sandwich and crumbs and like
You're hysterical. No one loves a pun more than Hallie Bell. Like,
I'm like dusting off the picnic blanket,
ready to.
for a summer pact.
I can't wait. I need to find
I'm
the book.
so
Like, I'm going to have to. I don't buy books. Everyone knows that. And I'm going to have to go buy it because it's unavailable everywhere. Like,
Oh wow.
did you see my video? I'm number like 110 in line at the library. And
Oh my gosh.
and
Well,
I could listen to it, but my audiobook numbers don't like refresh for like another week. So
and
I'm
you
gonna
got
have to go
started
buy it
tonight.
tonight. But I will say my final closing for the
Oh,
sandwich
good.
book is that I thoroughly enjoyed listening to it while I was getting ready in the morning, and I really liked
Hmm.
listening to it in my car rides
What's your
because,
favorite sandwich?
ooh, my favorite sandwich ever?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, ooh,
What are you gonna say? You're
I
gonna say
don't,
something crazy.
I was gonna say my favorite sandwich to have with you is
Oh,
an Italian stallion from Pizza Bros.
amen.
I'm not even just saying this, but the club sandwich that I got from Sarah's Kitchen was the freshest sandwich I've ever tasted in my entire life.
Oh my
But
God.
my ride or die recently has been like a really cheesy, disgusting, like hot sandwich from Jersey Mike's, like with
Did you see
chicken
my
and
face and
cheese.
go?
You're like, what is she gonna say?
No, like
What's
when
your
you go
favorite
a
sandwich?
real cheesy, and I was just like,
You're like, what's your favorite sandwich? An Italian stallion from Pizza Bros?
Italian salmon from Pizza Bros is like my favorite commercial sandwich, but like
Yeah.
a sandwich that I make at home is just a BLT.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
And I say that so blasé, but I love BLT. Like just an heirloom tomato, Main Street beef
Mm.
bacon, crisp
Whoa.
wedge lettuce, mayo. Let's go.
Let's
Salt
go.
Pep.
I think that's your goal. Your next goal is to get Main Street Meats to sponsor the
Sponsor.
pod.
Ooh, I should.
You should, because you're there every day.
Honestly, Main Street Meat sponsors this family. Like,
No,
we should all
literally,
have t-shirts at this point.
you pay their utilities.
Oh man.
All
Well, if you've
right.
made it this long, past the book talk, past the Wally talk, past the sandwich talk, then
Past the
you're a real cover to
sanity.
cover girl.
You are a cover to cover girl. Yeah.
And we love you guys,
Yeah.
Mom. And thank you guys for listening. And hope that you guys tune in next time for Emily Giffin's Summer Pact.
Ooh, yay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.